Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, darthdevious, bringing you another video review, this time from Transformers Prime. It's the Voyager class Predaking, who I've already removed from the box, as you guys are getting used to me doing. Alright, side of the box, Predaking holding his sword. Alright, you can read the little one-sentence bio up there. There you go, it's better. There you go. Down here is his tech specs, which he has almost all 10s. That is crazy. Alright, you can see the back of the box. Predaking. As you can see, I'll show you this. On this one, the back of his wings doesn't have any paint on it. Whereas on this product shot, you can see there's paint on his wings. I have added paint to Predaking already. So I know it's not really that fair that I've gone ahead and added paint, but he needed it. It's like out of the box, these missiles here are actually gray. I added yellow paint to them to match the box art a little bit. I actually hate these things though. I'll show them off, but I hate them. I also want to apologize for any of the background noise. I usually record with my air conditioner off, but it is just way too hot. You know, we're in the middle of this heat wave here in the Philadelphia area, and it's, you know, close to 100 up here upstairs if I don't have my air conditioner on. So forgive that for the next few reviews, but what can I do? I'm not gonna boil to death in my own bedroom. Alright, let's get this box out of here and bring in the Predaking. Alright. And here he is in all his kingly glory. Alright, and you can see here, as I said, I added this paint to the wing. I picked out all the Cybertronian glyphs all over him and his weapons and stuff. I added some more gold paint to his tail too. Alright. Alright. And this dragon mode is pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a little fiddly at times, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, I don't like these things. I'll take these off real quick. I mean, they're missile launchers, basically. And you launch the missile by putting this all the way forward. And as you can see, there's the missile. It looks like fire. Alright, yeah, I picked out the glyphs on that too. But what's cool is, if you see, in here there's some gears and corresponding gears on this one. You can plug them together so that they work in tandem. That is a nice little effect that didn't need to be done. I just think it doesn't fit with Predaking. He's badass enough without that, so we'll put that off to the side here. Now in this mode, he does have some nice articulation. His neck moves back and forth. It has a joint here. The head moves up and down here. No side to side on the head, but you do have the side to side on the neck, so it's not too bad. You can get some decent poses. I painted his lower jaw silver and inside his mouth yellow. So you can see here. He's got nice painted eyes. They're painted silver. I would have liked to see him painted red, but you know, it might not have shown up with the black so much. Wings are posable. They have a joint here, another joint here, and they can move forward and back, so it's not too bad. Alright, since these are his arms, they have all the same jointing that his arms would have, so you get some really good movement out of his front legs here. I did the claws on him to let them stand out. Alright. His back legs, they have a joint here, they have a joint there, and the toes can move a little bit. Plus they can go in and out. That's more for transformation, but forgot to pull those spikes up. But yeah, nice posability. You can get him into a flying pose if you want. Not too bad. Not too bad. He has an interesting transformation. It's simple but effective. I'm not even going to do the montage on this because His really is fairly simple. It's basically you just pull his tail out, you know, move his wings out of the way, just so they're out of the way. Split here. Now these are his legs. See? You rotate them, flip it around. What's cool is these hind legs here. You know, this becomes his heel spur, and then there's a spot here, a thing here, and they go together, and that fills in the back of his leg nicely. You know, he doesn't just stand up to transform. Like unlike the ultimate version is pretty much stand him up and he's a robot. Not that that's bad. I still want the ultimate version just because, as you'll see, it'll be more in scale with other figures. Alright. Hands. I have to come up some. Because he's so big! Well, he's not that big, but he's big enough. Shoulder spikes. Open his chest. Flip up his head. Close his chest. This is where things get a little bit of a pain. You gotta really fold his head in here. And then this comes up. And it's supposed to peg over the head spikes. I'm not gonna attempt to get it perfect. It's just too much of a pain. And then you can do what you want with the wings. You can put them up. I like folding them back and having them up against his back like that. Yeah, I have a problem with this one. He's a little weak in the knees, you could say. There we go. And basically there's Predaking in his robot mode. Come down some. And he seems to be leaning to one side here. Let's see if I can rectify that. There we go. And his tail, as you see, becomes this sword. It's hard for him to hold it. I actually have put clear nail polish in this joint here to help him hold it better. It works a little better, but he still doesn't hold it that well. The dragon things can... There's pegs on his arms. You can peg them on if you want to. I'm not doing that. Alright. Posability in this mode is pretty standard for, you know, figures like this. He would have a waist joint, but this backpack thing locks in. If you want him to have a waist joint, you have to unpeg that. Shoulders, 360, out, rotation at the wrist. Head just rotates back and forth. We'll get a closer look at his face in a minute. Rotate the knee, pin and socket at the hip. Nothing really at the foot. I mean, it moves, but you're really not going to get much out of it. Alright. Not a bad version of Predaking at all. Not a bad version of Predaking. Now, you can see, as I said, I highlighted a lot of the glyphs on him. I added this red here and the gold here on his chest. And also the gold on the sides of his legs. Just some added detail just to make him stand out a little bit more. Give him a more regal presence befitting Predaking. Alright. Alright. Give me a second. I'm going to bring in some figures to compare him with. Alright, be right back. So here's a quick close-up of Predaking's face before I bring in the other figures to compare him with. And his head is a soft rubber. Almost like Dreadwing and Skyquake, but unlike them, you don't have to worry about, you know, breaking the light piping off or anything. So it's not too bad. It's a shame he doesn't have a ball-jointed neck. He really could use one. But what can you do? It's Voyager class. So as I promised, I'm going to bring in some figures to compare him with. As you see, I've got him way in the background. We'll bring in... Here is his creator, Shockwave, who is way too big to be standing next to this Predaking. This is where I think the ultimate Predaking comes into its own because it's, you know, higher, it's bigger, it's more in scale with the other figures. We'll bring in Grimwing. Alright. And if you can see on Grimwing, I'm doing the same thing with him, picking out his Cybertronian glyphs, and I'm painting up Blackbeak some. I did some paint work on the weapon. I'm not going to pull it out, but you can see I add a little bit of paint onto the weapon. Just, I think all this stuff makes the figures just pop a little bit more. But you can see Grimwing at the head is a little bit shorter than Predaking, not by much, maybe about that much. All right, but here's the size comparison. The next two that I think really speak to why this version is too small. Here's Megatron. Now, in a recent episode, Megatron went toe-to-toe with Predaking. Predaking was bigger than Megatron, not by much, and here they're basically the same height. And we'll bring in Optimus, Beast Hunter's Optimus, who, let's face it, is a lot larger than Predaking, like size-wise, width, and everything else. Not height or anything. But this is where, you know, the Ultimate Predaking will come into its own. Now, if I see it and I have the money for it, I am going to get it. Alright, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and get it, but if I see it in the store and I have the cash, I will pick it up and do a review of that, because I do want the Ultimate version. But for now, I'm just happy to have this version. It's not a bad figure. Not by a long shot. Has its flaws. Part of it's the size issue. Part of it's his weapon not staying in his hand and coming with these things that he just doesn't need. While these are cool on their own, I just don't think they go with Predaking. They would have been better with a different robot, I think. I do recommend him if you don't want to spend all the money for the Ultimate version. His Dragon mode is really cool, I think. Especially now that I painted it up some and enhanced it a little bit. Especially the wings. Though if you get him, you need to do the leading edges on the wings, because it helps define it better, in my opinion. But yeah, he's a decent figure. Get him if you want. He does look good with, you know, some of the other Predacons and the Autobots and Decepticons here. Alrighty? So, you guys be good. This guy has some real anger issues.